No, keep down. Go ahead.
Hi, Jimmy. Can you see me? Can you see me, Jimmy?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, just making sure.
Hey, I can go get some water real quick. Hey, they ain't on there yet. All right. Oh, I gotta take my jacket off her.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Judge Porter. I will let everyone know that because of the Texas Supreme Court's order, the courthouse is closed to the general public. However, in keeping with the spirit of the open courts provision of the Texas Constitution, these hearings are being broadcast live on YouTube. It's my understanding that it is voice only this morning for these hearings. Anybody who might be listening, rebroadcasting or recording of these hearings is expressly forbidden. Violation of this order will subject the recorder or rebroadcaster to civil and or criminal contempt proceedings. Mr. Cummings, how are you?
Good.
All right. This is a detention hearing to determine whether you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. My name is Judge Porter. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention and Ms. Perkins' attention. That way, I'll create a private internet chat room for y'all to talk about what you want to say. She can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Perkins, please forgive me if I call you Ms. Keenan. Old habits die hard.
It's okay, Judge.
Now, Jimmy is awaiting transfer to Mahia. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. And I know Mr. Dotson, do we have an estimated time for him to be transferred to Mahia?
No, Your Honor, we don't have an estimated time, but Ms. Batten said that she's trying to get it done as soon as possible. We got some forms for mom to fill out, and that should expedite things.
Okay. And how long will it take us to fill out and complete those forms?
I spoke with his mom this morning. We're going to have a conversation after this hearing to determine what time she can come in and fill out these forms. Hopefully today.
Okay. Is mom here?
I gave her the link. I don't know. I don't see her. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yes, she's here. I saw her earlier. Give me just a second. Ms. Johnson, I know you're here. I saw you earlier. There she is.
Hello.
Okay, there she is. That's her voice.
Hey, I can't see her.
Hold on just a second, Jimmy. I'm trying to get her to start her video feed.
I only see my Ain't Blackie on there.
Hold on, Jimmy, just a second.
I think she's up there now.
There she is. All right. Miss Anderson, are you going to be able to visit with Mr. Dotson this afternoon?
Yes, sir. I'm going to try to get to him as quick as possible this afternoon.
Okay. It's real important that we get all those forms signed. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jimmy, is there something you wanted to say to your mom?
No, not right now.
Okay. Have you been able to call her at night?
Yes, sir.
All right. Will you make sure you keep doing that for me, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on the information before me, Jimmy, I'm going to order that you be detained, okay?
All right.
All right. Perkins, do you have anything else?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ms. Anderson, thank you for helping us out, okay?
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right. If y'all need anything, y'all let me know, okay?
Thank you.
Not that I know of. I don't know. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's a mixture of both. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But there is. I'm not sure how far back, because I want to say that was elementary school, and I don't know if it's current. And it may be the IDD is more current. I don't know. I'm working on memory. So, all right. Okay. Now, okay, there's Miss Thomas. And is Miss Barrows here? Ms. Barrows, are you here on the line? I don't remember seeing her.
Judge, this is Frank. I can cover for her if you need me to.
Okay. Ms. Thomas,
Yes, Your Honor.
is Mr. Dominguez here? Do you see him?
He is not, Your Honor. We do not have a kid. We submitted a progress report on May 8th to you and requesting a DTA on him. He's been gone since April 15th. And your response was that you wanted to set it for a judicial review hearing with an out of custody detention hearing. So
Yes, ma'am.
we put it on the docket today. Mom is supposed to be here. I don't know if she's, but we
The
don't.
mom is here.
Okay, good.
Okay. Mom,
Yes.
where is Mr. Dominguez?
Well, he's from France to France, sleeping out. I've heard that he sleeps in vehicles. Sometimes we moved from the house that we were at, but it has broken windows. So he does go sometimes back into that house and sleeps there. But I know he's just out in the streets. He has me blocked from his phone and stuff like that, so I can't communicate with him.
Okay. And he's not trying to communicate with you either?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Boneberg, what says the state?
Well, Judge, until we have a juvenile, let's see, right now, I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on the procedural history here. There is a current DTA or no?
There is not. I set it for a status conference to try and give him a chance.
Okay, we would ask for an issue of a DTA then for this.
All right, Mr. Adler, thank you for agreeing to fill in for Ms. Barrows. You heard what was going on, and what is your response on behalf of the respondent as both his attorney and guardian ad litem today?
Your Honor, I'll let Ms. Burrows know everything that transpired this morning, and when the young man gets picked up and brought to detention, I'll make sure she has a conversation with Mom on how to proceed.
All right. Mom, do you have Ms. Barrow's phone number?
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, that is his attorney,
Okay.
but you have a way to get in touch with Ms. Thomas?
Yes, I've been always contact with Miss Thomas. I've let her know all the times, like when everything happens. And I do have a missing report on, or a runaway report on him also when he ran away and stuff like that. But yes, I've been in contact with Miss Thomas this whole time.
All right, Ms. Thomas, can you provide Mom with Ms. Barrow's contact information?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great. All right, at this time, the court will issue a directive to apprehend. And so, Ms. Thomas, once that paperwork is submitted, I'll sign it this afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
All right, that'll be the order of the court. Thank you, Mr. Adler.
You're welcome, Judge.
No closer. I ain't closer. I'm saying doing your schoolwork.
But I can't see myself, so I don't know how to do
All right, are you Mr. Gwynn?
it. Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair a little closer to the computer for me. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. That'll also get your attorney's attention. And your attorney, Ms. Barrows, is here. Let me find her real quick. I know there's Ms. Barrows. Oops. All right. Okay, can you see Ms. Barrows on the screen?
I just see you.
Okay, I want you to use the cursor and put your cursor in the middle of the right side of the screen for me.
This right here.
And then a blue arrow will pop up and I want you to click on that blue arrow. And
Click.
then you should be able to see Ms. Barrows.
It's connecting. You're doing it, right?
Have you found her yet?
Say connecting. It still say connecting. No, it's still connecting. I don't even know what the rest of it say connecting. So
Okay, I want you to use your cursor and move the cursor to the right side of the screen in the middle of the right edge of the screen, and a blue and white arrow will pop up. Do you see that yet?
I already clicked on it. And it gave me a response to say, it says, oh, I still see you, and this one says connecting, and then I can't see the rest of the sentence.
Okay, a new group of pictures should pop up when you click on that blue and white arrow. Did that happen?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll try clicking on the blue and white arrow again.
Go left now? Make it go to the left side
No,
now?
I want you to go to the right. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there she go.
Okay, you see Ms. Barrows now?
And then it went back to you.
Okay, do you see Ms. Barrows? Mr. Gwynn, pay attention. Do you see Ms. Barrows?
She's not on the screen. That's what I'm like, she's not on the screen. I had did it, but then it went back to you. For some reason, I ain't even clicked nothing.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not right.
Do it again and find Ms. Barrows.
This is not working. Then it's okay. It might stay. Okay, it's working now.
Okay, you see Ms. Barrows?
Yes, sir.
Okay, again, if there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. I will create a private internet chat room for you, Ms. Barrows, to talk about what you want to say. Talk about it briefly. That way she can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Anything you say during this hearing cannot be used against you at an adjudication or disposition hearing, but it might be used against you in a future detention hearing. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez. What brings Mr. Gwynn to court today?
Tydra was referred in custody for UCW. He was in the back seat of a car during a traffic stop. Officers smelled marijuana in the car, so they conducted a search. Under the seat where Tydra was sitting was a Glock 17 9mm, and it was stolen at a Reno. His juvenile companion, also in the back seat, was also arrested for the same thing. There was a total of 3 handguns located under the back seat, and there was one inside of the front passenger glove box. The driver was a documented Crip gang member, and officers also located an empty alcoholic container and marijuana residue in the black floorboard of the car. Tydra does have history with the department. He was on probation for UCW that just ended March 13th of this year. And he has some other previous referrals as well. And he did test positive for marijuana today.
All right. Ms. Barrows, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, we would ask that he be released to his parent who is present at the courthouse, and to be on an electronic monitor and be supervised 24/7 by his family members.
Okay, and let's see. Are you Ms. Ware? Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's going on? He just got off probation. He's got a new UCW charge, test positive for marijuana, has a new handgun, allegedly. What's up with all that?
I'm just, because we were doing good. I guess it's just the crowd that he's hanging with.
Okay. Do you know where he's getting his guns?
No, sir.
He's not getting them from you, is he?
No, sir.
Do you know, hold on, Mr. Gwynn. Do you know where he's getting the marijuana?
No, sir.
He's not getting it from you, is he?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. First, I find that there is probable cause to believe that you did engage in delinquent conduct. Secondly, based on the information before me, kids and guns don't mix, especially when you've got a prior UCW. So you know what this is about. Mr. Gwynn, you tested positive for drugs and you had a new gun. You just got off probation barely 2 months ago. So what do you think I'm about to do?
You need to let me explain how did it even went down, because
you don't trust me. Ms. Barrows wants you to remain silent on what went down. Okay. Am I wrong, Ms. Barrows? You want your client not to talk about how everything went down, right?
Correct. Not in this detention hearing. This is only about you being detained.
Yeah. So don't say anything that might make things worse for you, because anything you say, while it can't be used against you at a future hearing or adjudication, you don't want to give the state any additional ammo or places to go look to find more dirt on you, right? Does that make sense?
Can I get that private chat real quick though? Like with the
what I'll do is I'm gonna make my decision, and then I'll let you, Ms. Barrows, go into that private chat and talk. But guns and kids don't mix. This ain't your first rodeo. So you need to get to level. Okay, Mr. Gwynn. Well, I was going to give him an opportunity to get to level 1-0, but I don't think I'm going to give him that opportunity. He's detained and we'll consider everything again anew in 2 weeks. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you, Ms. Barrows. I'm sorry. Oh, it happens at least once a week. It's all about him. It's all about him. All right. Good morning, Ms. Johnson. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Ms. Johnson, can you pull your chair a little closer to the computer for me?
Like this?
You got it. Now I can hear you. All right. My name is Judge Porter. This is a hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll let me know you want to say something. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way your attorney can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Do you understand that? Okay. Vicki Wiley here. I'm looking.
She is, Your Honor.
There's Ms. Wiley. You're on a different screen. Can you unmute for me? All right. Ms. Johnson, do you see Ms. Wiley on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there's something you want to say, wave your hand like that and I'll create that chat room for you, okay? Before you just blurt it out. Well, wait just a second. We're not there yet. All right? Okay. So, Ms. Turner-Hill, what brings Ms. Johnson to court today? And is she on level 2 or level 3-0?
She's level 2 acceptable.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. She appeared on May the 12th for an out of custody detention hearing. It was requested by the department that she appeared to address her runaways. North Richland Hills PD reported that she goes by Noelle, has run away approximately 8 times in over 6 months, and they've considered her to be a high-risk runaway. According to just various runaway reports we received, she is allegedly engaging in inappropriate relationships with adult men, using drugs and/or alcohol while she's away from home. Her most recent runaway occurred on April the 19th. She left home without permission and was believed to be staying with a 24-year-old male. And she was found on May the 10th, and she was taken to the hospital and she was released to her mom. She's pending a referral that occurred on January the 23rd for assault causes bodily injury, and it was an assault against her mother. She does have prior contacts with our department. She was on deferred prosecution, probation at one point in time, and then the rest of her offenses have been supervisory caution by the department, including numerous runaways. She's scheduled for an adjudication disposition hearing on June the 11th. She did test positive for marijuana whenever she appeared for out of custody detention hearing. And if the court does consider releasing her, we just respectfully ask that you consider the electronic monitor.
All right. Let's see. Is this Ms. Griffin in the back?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's her grandmother, and I guess that's her mother also.
Okay. What's going on? Talk to me.
She just won't stay at home and do the right thing. That's just it. And she'll come and stay a day or two, get her some rest, and then she gone. You don't know when she leave. You don't know where she is. And she's come home before. Like I told the judge once before, she came home. It was in a van with 3 men. And she come in the house, and these 2 guys come to the door. And I said, what are you all gonna do like this? Like, you know, they gonna come in. I said, you better get off my porch. They started cussing and going out, called North Richland Hills Police, but they couldn't catch them. They didn't get around there in time enough to catch them. And this one guy who she said was 16, that boy is 20-something years old. And she had had that man come to my house. I said, he don't look like he's 16. Yeah, he's 16. I asked for his ID, and he said, oh, I don't have any. But that man is 20-something years old. And she constantly keep running back out there, and bad things happening to her, doing the wrong thing. And at this point, I can't control her. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I just can't control her for a few days. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Then all of a sudden, boom, she gone. And she can go out the door. I'm going outside with Katie and her sister. And then she you don't know where she is. What? I'm gonna tell the truth. You don't know where she is. She just up and leave. And wait a minute, he asked me, she just up and leave. And I asked Katie, where she at? She gone. Nobody know where she gone. You don't see her for a week or two, sometimes 3 weeks.
Ms. Griffin, are you worried about her safety if she were released today?
I'm very much worried about her safety, sir. And that's the God in heaven truth. I am very much worried about her safety.
Ms. Wiley, what are your thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, my client denies the inappropriate relationships with men, for one thing. She had actually reached level 1 briefly this week, and now she's level 2 again. So I understand Grandma's thoughts. I think Mom may have something to say.
Well, I'll let you ask Mom some questions.
Okay. Would you state your full name for the court, please?
Nikita Janine Johnson.
You're gonna have to speak up.
Nikita Janine Johnson.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Do you agree with what your mother said?
Yeah, she's been doing all that, but no, Alexandria has had 8 seizures since she's been in y'all facility. And right before she came, she had a seizure. That's how we found her. And she
had a seizure?
Yes, she had a seizure. She's done had 8 seizures back there on y'all unit, 8. And she needs to get into a neurologist. I mean, I understand that she does run away. She needs to be on an ankle monitor. I'm totally in agreement to that. She really do need to work on her attitude and the way she conducts herself. I really do understand that. But at this point, I'm worried about her health. You get what I'm saying? She needs to get into a neurologist, and she really does need some consequences to what she has been doing, because she has been way out of line, okay? I'm not taking up for her at all, but I'm concerned about her health at this point. Like, she really needs to be on house arrest, but the doctor called me last week and they told me that once I get her back, I can get her into a neurologist, because we need to see why she's having so many seizures. It's done got to the point she's urinating and bowel movement on herself. I have seizures, so I know how bad it can be.
Does she take medicine for it?
No, every time we try to get her to the doctor, she would leave. Every time she would leave.
Ms. Turner-Hill?
One of those.
I talked to the nurse.
Oh yeah, one of them do. I'm sorry, I apologize. One of them is for seizures. I apologize.
So she is taking a medicine for seizure.
Yeah, but I don't think it's working for her. Like, it's not.
Your Honor, I talked to the nurse last week. I'm not aware of 8 seizures. I've just gotten reports about 2 seizures, but the nurse said that they're grand mal seizures, and she reported that they don't have any concerns, like if she stayed in detention. They don't feel like her health is at risk or that she needs to seek medical attention. They said as long as she continues to take her medication, which she does have in detention, that she's doing fine as far as health-wise back in detention.
Okay, when can she see the doctor in addition to seeing the nurse?
They told me that I can bring her within a week, and I also have grandma seizures, and that is not a good feeling.
Okay, Ms. Turner-Hill, when can Ms. Johnson next see the doctor in detention?
As far as the psychiatrist? Or
no, a medical doctor.
There's not a medical doctor that contracts with detention. It's just the nursing staff.
Okay.
Your Honor.
The nurse stated that they're more like panic attacks.
There's a huge difference between a panic attack and a grand mal seizure.
Sure is.
Huge difference.
Big difference.
Ms. Wiley, you were about to say something. Hold on, Ms. Johnson, hold on.
Well, I was going to say that if Mom can get an appointment set perhaps we could, if you're leaning towards leaving her in detention, perhaps it could be until the day of the doctor's appointment, and then mom can transport her to the doctor's appointment. And my client would like to talk to me.
Okay. Okay. Let me make my ruling, and then I'm going to create that chat room for y'all to talk. Okay, Ms. Johnson, first, if I were to release you, you would be a danger to yourself, or just a danger to yourself, because you've got a history of running away, and the circumstances surrounding the running away, I can't let you go, not in good faith. However, your health issues are something completely different, and I think it needs to be addressed by a doctor and not just a nurse, because if that medication's got to be adjusted or changed or whatever, unless it's a nurse practitioner who's authorized to write or change that prescription, it's got to be a doctor. So, Mom, I want you to schedule an appointment for Ms. Johnson, and then you are to call Ms. Turner Hill and give her that information. Okay?
You don't think that putting her on house arrest would be okay?
No, ma'am, not yet. No, that's not good enough. Because she'll cut, I firmly believe Ms. Johnson will cut that monitor and she's gone again. So I want you to make an appointment for Ms. Johnson to see the doctor. I want you to call Ms. Turner Hill with that information. And then Ms. Turner Hill will come to me and ask me at that, like the day before that appointment, to have Ms. Johnson released to you so that she can be transported by you on the date of her doctor's appointment, okay? All right, can you do that? All right, that's gonna be the order of the court.
House arrest, like, and I live in Houston, like she
No, ma'am.
down here. She don't know
No.
about get there.
No, ma'am. House arrest will not work for Ms. Johnson. She's gonna break it and she's gonna go. We both know that.
Yeah, I'm just worried about her health, sir. That's all.
And that's why you're gonna get the doctor's appointment for her.
Yeah, she just laid on the back there for like 20 minutes one time on you in y'all facility. Yes, she did.
And that's why you're going to get the doctor's appointment for her so that we can address those medical issues, okay?
Yes, sir.
And then when you get that appointment, you're gonna call Ms. Turner Hill and give Ms. Turner Hill that information, okay?
I don't even know who that is.
That's Miss Turner Hill up there.
She is the intake officer assigned to your daughter's case.
I'll get her number before I leave.
Your Honor,
Yes.
grandmother's been dealing with all of this.
All right. Ms. Griffin, do you have Ms. Turner Hill's information?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Will you give that to your daughter?
Yeah, I give it to him.
Okay. So Ms. Johnson, now you're going to have Ms. Turner Hill's contact information, right?
Yes, they should give it to me. Yes.
All right, we're square. All right, now, Ms. Johnson, let me create that chat room for you and Ms. Wiley. Hold on.
Can I go?
Not yet. Grandma and Mom, y'all are free to go now. Give me just a second.
Love you, Noel.
Ms. Wiley and Ms. Johnson, please make your discussion quick because we've got to be able to get the next kid in the room, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all should be able to go in there now. Okay. Mr. Berger. I know Mr. Berger is there's Mr. Berger. Okay. Good. Kroll is here.
Judge Porter, we're done.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Wiley.
Sure, thank you.
And Ms. Wiley, if you don't mind following up with either Ms. Griffin or Ms. Johnson to make sure that that medical appointment gets made. for the young Ms.
Absolutely.
Johnson.
Yes, sir.
That is a serious condition that we need to get addressed and get on top of.
Agreed.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Are you Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to have this hearing recorded. You also have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. Anything you say at this hearing cannot be used against you at an adjudication or disposition hearing, but it might be used against you at a future detention hearing. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this.
Yes, sir.
That'll get my attention.
Okay, can I say something?
It'll also get your attorney's attention. And I will create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, your attorney is Mike Berger. He's got a blue shirt and dark hair and glasses. Do you see him on the screen? The name on it says iPhone. You see him?
Yeah, I see him. I see him. I see him.
All right. Hey, Mr. Kroll, what brings Mr. Jones to court today?
He's a companion from an earlier case on 5/26 at approximately 10 o'clock at night. Fort Worth PD made a stop on a vehicle. The vehicle failed to signal 100 feet prior to turning. When the officers approached, smelled marijuana, giving them probable cause. There's 5 individuals in the black Nissan. The search of the vehicle, they found 4 handguns, 3 in the back seat. Mr. Jones was listed as being in the back right corner of the car. Under that seat, they found a 9mm Taurus, which was in reasonable reach of him. There was 2 other handguns in the back of the car, so he was referred for UCW. The driver of the car was listed as a known gang member in the gang database. He has prior history with us. He just completed probation on the 10th of this month for felony offense. I believe it was ag robbery. Yeah, it was also on for a misdemeanor terroristic threat. They were running concurrent. And then he tested positive for marijuana and methamphetamines.
All right, Mr. Berger, what are your thoughts?
Judge, I just got appointed on this case this morning. If I could have 2 minutes with my client.
Okay, I'll give you a minute.
Okay.
Because we have 13 hearings today.
Gotcha.
All right, Mr. Jones, go down to the bottom of your screen and you should have a pop-up menu that starts, and go to either more or breakout rooms, and it should allow you to go into the client counseling room. Do you see that, Mr. Jones?
Yeah, he doing it for me.
All right. Make it quick. Mr. Crawl, does
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Jones have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes, mom is here.
I
She's
see,
waving,
Mom.
She's waving.
Okay. I'll wait for Mr. Berger to get back online before we talk to you, Mom, okay?
Okay.
And is it Miss McHenry?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I need to stand up?
Oh, no, you're fine.
Sign that. Not that I'm prejudging. What?
Hey, Judge Porter, I'm back.
All right. So, Mr. Berger, what are your thoughts?
Judge, you've already heard the facts. My client is saying that he was unaware that there were guns in the vehicle, and certainly there are 5 people and 4 guns. So one of them, but at this time he's requesting that he be allowed to go home on a monitor. I don't know what his mother's position on that is.
All right. Ms. McHenry, what's your position on whether or not Mr. Jones should come home?
He can come home. Bryce left yesterday. He wasn't with the guys that he left with. I don't know what happened, but he can come home definitely on a monitor.
All right. Anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jones,
Yes,
first, I find that there's probable cause to believe that you engaged in a delinquent conduct based on the information before me. The fact that you came in, tested positive for drugs, that you're hanging out with known gang members, and that there are not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 guns in the car gives me great pause. This ain't your first rodeo. So what do you think I'm about to do?
Yes, sir. I really feel like you're going to detain me.
You're correct. All right. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Hey, Mama, can you come see me?
Yeah.
All right, I need to talk to you.
All right. Mr. Adeniji, are you ready? And Mr. Neva. Okay.
Sure.
Are you Roderick Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair a little closer to the computer for me. All right, my name's Judge Porter. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll let me know you want to say something. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way, Mr. Adeniji can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you see Lateef on the screen? Waving his hand?
Which one is he?
You see him?
Oh, I see him. Yeah, I see him.
Okay. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded, and if you want that, your attorney, Mr. Adeniji, will let me know. Mr. Neva, first, is Mr. Jones level 1A or 1O in the back?
He is a 1A today.
All right, and what brings him to court?
Today's his second 10-day detention hearing for the offense of murder. On 27th of April, he was brought in after a warrant was signed on the 27th. After that warrant was executed, according to the report, on the 5th of April, approximately around 8 in the morning, Arlington were dispatched to the family's residence regarding a shooting in progress. When they arrived on the scene, they met with 2 victims. Andre Petty opened the door and explained that he woke up to a loud noise, and that's when he heard Lucas's mother pleading with him not to shoot her, and he heard the sound of gunfire. When he left the room, Lucas pointed a revolver handgun at him and fired at him, but missed. He reported that Lucas pulled the trigger a second time, but the weapon was out of ammo. Lucas then left the residence with a friend who is Roderick that was spending the night. Police were continuing to investigate and learned that Lucas' mother had been shot in the torso and that her boyfriend, Chris, was shot in the head. Chris was pronounced dead at the scene. Detectives arrived. They met with Lucas and Mr. Petty. There is a typo there. It says Perry, but should be Petty. When he interviewed with Lucas cooperated and explained that he and Roderick had planned out this the day before and that Roderick wanted to hit a lick. Roderick planned to kill Chris, and he wanted Lucas to kill his own mother and Mr. Petty. Explained that Chris has 2 guns in the home and that the boys hid them while they were playing video games that week or the day before. And Lucas admitted that he waited until his mother approached and he pointed the revolver at her and shot her 2 to 3 times. Then he pointed the revolver at Mr. Petty, which is a room to the side, and missed. And then him and Roderick left the home, and then it was caught on surveillance, them leaving the home, and it shows who appears to be Lucas handing the weapons to who appears to be Roderick, and there's audio that resembles, doesn't really resemble, but there's audio capture that says, "Shit, give me the guns," right before it appears to show Lucas handing Roderick the weapons. And the petition has been filed.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Neva.
Sorry. Petition was filed as of today. ADA Williams just let me know, and the psychological report did come back last Friday. I can speak on the recommendations, or if the attorneys want to handle that.
I'll let the attorneys handle that. Mr. Adeniji, talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Requesting if my client can be released to go home with electronic monitoring.
Okay. Does he have a parent or guardian here?
Yes. Mom is present.
Are you Miss Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Miss Lewis,
Yes.
you understand why I'm concerned, right?
Yes, sir, I do. But I really, want my baby home. I know, this very serious, but I never been away from my child, never this long. And I really, due to what's going on, I really want my baby to come home. I'm sorry for the situation, but just please have mercy on my child.
Can I ask the mom some questions?
Certainly.
Can you assure the court about what kind of supervision can be provided in the home to ensure that he doesn't go where he's not supposed to go?
Yes.
When he's not supposed to.
I don't go anywhere. I'm there. He's gonna be right there with me. You will not have no problem with him at all. I promise you that. You will have no problem with Roderick. Normally, Roderick is a home buyer. He normally be at home. But that day, I guess he went with the little boy, spent the night, because they normally, my other kids mostly spent the night at her house as well, and it was no problem. I don't know, what took place, but I really want my baby home. I promise you, y'all would not have no problem with Roderick.
Anything else, Mr. Adeniji?
Nothing else, Judge.
All right. Based on the information before me, I find that there is evidence to suggest that a firearm or other weapon was used in the commission of the alleged offense. And accordingly, I find that the child may be a danger to himself or others. And so on that basis, I'm going to order that he continue to be detained. And that's going to be the order of the court. I'm sorry, Mom.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll meet you in the lobby, Mom.
Mr. Daniel, I believe you're up next. And Ms. Rodriguez, I know you're here. There you are. Oops, sorry.
And Judge, I believe my client's under 14.
Let me check.
13.
Yes.
Okay. Then this is an out of custody, and we will.
Yeah.
We're gonna move that to the very end.
Okay. And Judge, can I ask, is he there?
Yes.
Does Miss?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. So Ms. Rodriguez, if you would let them know not to bring him in yet, and we will circle back at the end.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that to my attention.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So let's bring in Mr. Perez. And I know Mr. Adler is here. There he is. Are you Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. That will also get your attorney, Mr. Adler's attention. Do you see Mr. Adler on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will create a private internet chat room just for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Lopez.
Yes, sir.
What brings Mr. Perez back to court?
Your Honor, AB has been in detention since February 17 when he turned himself in for a directive for cutting off his monitor. He was adjudicated in January. And while he was in detention for that offense, we received some out of custodies for aggravated robbery. His name was brought up, or he's allegedly accused of being involved in at least, I believe, 3 or 4 robberies, and Aldi included, where there was a weapon used, a knife, and he's been there ever since. We are set for court on June 6th, Your Honor.
What's his level in the back?
1-0, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, he has been on level 1-0 pretty much the entire time, I think. The mom usually shows up with the dad, so it is a 2-parent household. Mr. Boneberg and I have been talking about this case, kind of going back and forth with possible numbers, but nothing set in stone. I just ask that he be released to his mom under strict house arrest until we either go to trial or we do an adjudication dispo.
Do you have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mom is there, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, there's mom. So am I correct? He's pending 4 counts of aggravated robbery and 1 motion to modify. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Judge, may I speak up?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to clarify, the detention report says level 2 outstanding, but I thought I heard he's level 1. Is that correct now?
No, he is on level 2. I was about to correct it. Over the weekend, he had an incident with another peer close to a physical altercation. So he was confined. So he's working his way up to level 1. But he is 2 outstanding, Your Honor. My mistake.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Judge, then I take back everything I just said.
Mr. Perez, you've gotten to meet Judge Kim, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
What are his rules?
Stay level 1. Don't get no physical altercations.
What happened?
I got no physical altercation.
So what am I supposed to do?
Detain me.
All right, that'll be the order of the court.
Thanks, Judge. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Hey.
How you doing?
No, Mr. Adeniji, you may not yawn. It's contagious.
Oh, man.
Okay. No, Mrs. Guerrero is here. There she is. Okay. Are you Mr. Petty?
Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair close to the computer. There we go. My name's Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not just yell it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention. That'll get your attorney's attention, Mr. Adeniji, and I will create a private internet chat room for the two of you to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Do you see Lateef on the screen? All right. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded. If you want that, Mr. Adeniji will let me know. All right, Ms. Guerrero, what brings Mr. Petty back to court?
Yes, Judge, this is a 10-day detention hearing. He was admitted into our facility on January the 19th. He was brought in for an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That referral states that basically he showed up at an apartment complex. The victim confronted him. He was there to fight someone else, but this victim confronted him. They did see that they had weapons on their waistband, and when they were leaving, they shot fires from the vehicle. They stuck out the window and they shot some fires. But yesterday, I also received some additional referrals from Northward Twin Hills. I received a theft of property, credit card abuse, and burglary of a vehicle ×2. This all allegedly happened in August of last year, where several vehicles were broken into, credit cards were taken, driver's license were taken. Several of the homeowners had surveillance camera. One victim, however, told the officers that her credit card was used at a Jack in the Box. Officers did get the security footage from that Jack in the Box. A Honda Civic was stolen from one of the victims. It was taken out of their driveway. Officers went and, that Civic was eventually recovered by Fort Worth PD. There was someone sitting on that vehicle that officers spoke to, and that person said that they got the vehicle from Tavion and they had the key to that vehicle. They said he did not own the vehicle, but he is known to steal vehicles. The officers were able to get onto his Instagram after they got a warrant for the Instagram account. They did see videos of him in the stolen vehicle, and he was a passenger in that vehicle, and his companion was a driver in that vehicle.
And he's level 1-0 today?
Yes, Judge, but I'm not understanding that because I show that he was confined on the 23rd.
Is it possible to go from 3C to 1-0 in a period of 4 days?
Which shows that on May 23rd, he was confined. And then on the 24th, it shows he's a level 1 outstanding.
Okay. Is it possible for someone to go from level 3C to 1-0 in a matter of 4 calendar days?
Yes.
Okay. And are you Mr. Petty in the parents' room?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Adeniji, do you have any questions of Dad?
Judge, by the way, I'm not contesting the level 1 outstanding.
Okay.
So this will be maybe the 10th or 15th 10-day detention hearing. And it seems like we are back to square one every single time. Get to level 1 outstanding, we'll consider releasing you to go home. So I'm just going to ask the same thing. I'm hoping I won't get the same answer. If you let him go home with electronic monitoring, the dad has always assured the court that he will ensure he's in compliance. He won't go where he's not supposed to go. And he gave that assurance repeatedly. And I'm sure he's giving the same thing now. So that's what I'm going to urge on the court, respectfully.
And just for the record, those 3 previous hearings were not before me, correct?
Some of them were.
No, the last 3 were not, were they?
Oh, you said the last 3.
No.
I thought that may be correct, Judge. I'm not
The
going to.
last one before me was back on March 16th.
I would have loved to have got him released then. We weren't that lucky.
Mr. Boneberg, talk to me. Mr. Boneberg.
Sorry. Can you hear
What are
me?
your thoughts?
Okay, there
We
you
got looks, I mean, just from the report, we got a one-man crime wave. I'm guessing you're
Yes,
not
sir.
inclined to agree with Mr. Adeniji, right?
I do respectfully disagree with Mr. Detention there. He's got a determinate sentence hearing on June 5th. It looks like. I'm concerned for the safety of the community. The victim was shot in the abdomen. These new referrals, we have not received these yet, but unless, I guess maybe they were just referred to us. We'd ask that he be detained.
Judge, can I ask for clarification? All this new stuff they're talking about, I'm not aware of them. I hope the court is not going to factor that in deciding this morning.
I also disagree with Mr. Detention on that ground.
All that information is as new to me as it is to the court.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge. Yeah, they have been referred. I do have them here. They're pending filing decision.
Okay, well,
And by the way, Judge, we were scheduled for status hearing on the main case this morning at 8:30. But I think because of these new refers, and we are still negotiating to try to work things out in that case. So that's been reset for another status hearing.
oh, y'all were set before Judge Kim this morning?
That is correct, but we never got to, but everybody's getting this information about these new charges.
And so did y'all file a written motion for continuance in Judge Kim's court this morning?
Well, I think nobody
That's
filed.
a
no. But what I'm saying, I'm just letting the judge know about that.
Yeah. Okay.
That must be the reset I'm seeing on here, Lateef, June 5th.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you get the information before I do.
Yeah, the state gets that kind of stuff. It's not really fair, is it, Mr. Adeniji?
I'm not going to say that.
I'll say it.
Kevin is my friend. I'm not going to say anything about Kevin. I will have known it. If not for this thing going on, I will have been in the room. So.
Okay, he has been continuously level 1. Oh, wait, no. Ms. Guerrero, I'm
Yes,
looking at the
Judge.
detention logs on May 23rd. It shows he was level 1O outstanding, and then the notes say changed from level 3 confined to level 1O per JD. What's up with that?
I don't have the answer for that, Judge. I can only assume who JD is.
I may have the answer to that. Maybe there was an error and they corrected it.
But Ms. Guerrero, it was your information that what got him confined in the back?
Give me 1 minute, Judge.
Tavion, the court is not asking you that question. So let's keep our powder dry.
I was trying to.
Or Judge, they did give me, I don't have a report indicating why. And then when I look at his infractions, there's no note in there.
Does that sound fishy to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it does to me too. Somebody just trying to prevent my clients from getting released.
Well, actually, it looks completely the opposite. Is that somebody's trying to help your client get released?
I take it either way, Judge.
Okay.
What's going on?
No. Okay, give me just a second.
This is Alicia.
Dad, is your son a gang member?
Not that I had note of.
Judge,
Yes.
I have detention on the phone. They're telling me that it was an error that was written on Tavion's page, that it was supposed to be another kid in detention that should have gotten that. So that's why that's written up that way. So it was not Tavion.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
So, Dad, you don't know if your son is a member of the Bone Crushing Gorillas?
No, not at all. Since I've been going to court, they said they had proof of it, but I never saw it at all.
Judge, has been alleged.
Okay.
Nobody has shown us any proof.
Well, that's because we're not in a trial yet. Dad,
Yes,
Dad,
sir.
does your son have any tattoos?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Guerrero, does detention have any documented tattoos on this individual?
Let me check.
He's a clean guy, Judge.
No, Judge, there's nothing in the system, but it is mentioned in the new report that I received.
What is mentioned?
Bone crushing gorillas.
What,
Again.
right. He's a documented gang member.
Is the judge saying that it's still an allegation?
Well, everything at this point is an allegation, but I get to take the allegations in determining whether or not he might be a danger to the community if released, and gang membership is a factor that I need to consider.
It's just the way the court said it. And that's what got me. So.
Well, you know that every adjudication disposition hearing, I walk in with a completely blank slate, right?
All the time.
Sometimes I'm blanker than others. Is that what you're saying?
Judge, I'm going to take defeat.
No, I know. I seriously try not to prejudge any case.
Absolutely.
Because I've got to be fair to both sides. Okay, I'm not going to take the referrals from yesterday into account. Mr. Baumberg, are you really going to be ready for a hearing next week?
It's my understanding that it was kind of a joint thing. Mr. Detention, you know the case is better than me. Andy, Ms. Smith is handling this case, Judge. Did you get an indication that?
We're still working through it to get to some resolution. Hopefully we will get to it by the 5th, but I can't say definitely. In view of this, depending on what's going to happen in all these new referrals, I think it's more likely that we do than less likely, Judge.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the new referrals are all lesser degrees, I think. Yes.
Correct. I mean, the real concern here is this drive-by.
Correct.
Alleged drive-by. He has been in custody for more than 4 months. He's been level 1-0 for a good time. So that's everything that's in your client's favor, Mr. Adeniji?
That is correct, Judge. I couldn't have said it better.
What's scary to me is the offense itself. Dad, and the fact that he is allegedly a documented Bone Crushing Gorillas member, which the court will take judicial notice is a violent street gang. And it also concerns me that Dad is unaware of his son's membership, alleged membership.
And if it's anything, Judge, he's also never had any adjudicated offense.
Dad?
Yes, sir.
If I were to release him today, what kind of assurance can you give me that he's not going to go out and associate with documented gang members?
I can give you 1,000%. He gonna be with me at all times. That's at the house or working on picking up a car from the auction and come back. If he can't leave the house, his mama will be there. But he ain't gonna be around nobody.
And that would be in addition to electronic monitoring, Judge.
What about at night? I mean, y'all have to sleep some point, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this alleged drive-by occurred a little before 10 o'clock at night. So he was obviously out at 10 o'clock at night.
At that Pacific day, he was at his auntie house. He spent the night I dropped him off at his auntie house for the weekend. That's the only reason he was out of my sight. And that was in Woodhaven. But We stay on North Turner now. Turner, right here off
Okay.
35, a long way from over there.
Okay, January 12th was a Sunday night. So wouldn't normally on a Sunday night, wouldn't he have been home at your house so he could go to school the next day?
But I got out work at 6 o'clock that next morning. But right now I work at a different job.
Okay, that didn't answer my question.
Yes,
My
sir.
question was, normally on a Sunday night, wouldn't he have been at home at your house so he could go to school the next day?
Yes, but I usually pick him up after I get out work. At the job I was working at, I get off at 6 in the morning. So I stop by there and pick him up. His school start at 8. So by the time we make it home, he get dressed and stuff and take a shower, get dressed. His bus usually come at 7:45. So that's the only reason he didn't supposed to be out. He supposed to be in my sister's house, but yeah.
Where'd he get the gun?
Judge, if we're going to go into that, I'm sure the DA has more information about actually who the actual shooter was. He wasn't
Well,
the one
but I wanted to ask the dad if he knew.
My son don't own no weapon.
Pardon?
He don't own no weapon. I never saw him with no weapon. I check his room all the time.
Do you have any weapons?
No, sir.
Any weapons at all in your house?
No, sir.
Judge.
Yeah, Mr. Boneberg, make your last best argument.
Yeah, I'm looking through the North Richland Hills report, and there are numerous photos here. And what I'm trying to do this is quick enough to be able to give the court an educated response. But there are pictures of individuals flashing gang signs. Then there are, and I'm not, without having read through these reports, there's quite a few attachments here that I'm not sure if this is an associate or if it's Mr. Petty, but there are individuals that he at least was associating with in the reports. If it's not him himself flashing these signs, as well as there are numerous social media accounts that the detective has put on here with individuals with guns. I think these new offenses are concerning enough, Judge, for us to, both sides, need a moment here before we can say that that in fact is not going on. Obviously.
Yeah, but the new offenses occurred before the current one.
That's true. That's true. Is the court privy to the victim detention report as well?
Yes, I've reviewed it.
Okay. I'm concerned about the victim as it's mentioned in that report as well. I think that this is.
Judge, which report are we talking about? The
Sorry?
report that I don't have?
This is in the aggravated assault. No, I believe you were sent that separately.
Okay.
I mean,
I thought you were talking about, okay.
Yeah. As I read it, it was a confrontation in the apartment complex, which led to the shooting, and then there were additional shots fired out of the car, from which a witness saw an individual by the name of Ivan and Tavion firing out the vehicle's windows. I think that
actually those were the only shooting, the shooting out of the car when they were leaving.
Okay.
And it's been
Ivan was the shooter according to the police report?
No, according to the police report, he is, but from other reports that the DA has possession of, it's obvious he's not.
Okay. Let's all speak at once. Let's everybody speak at once so that I don't hear anything. Okay. My question was to Mr. Boneberg.
Okay. The only indication I have is from the detention report, in which it says the group left and Alicia noticed Ivan and Tavion firing out of the vehicle's windows.
Okay.
Judge?
Okay, Mr. Adeniji.
Yes, Judge. I have discussed with Ms. Smith, the prosecutor on this case. We have both seen reports of other companions stating clearly who the shooter was, and that's not Tavion. I discussed that with Ms. Smith, and we both agreed on that. So what is reported in the offense report is incomplete.
All right. I'm gonna split the baby here.
Take the better half.
Mr. Gladstone is listening because his client is next.
That's right. I have a companion, and I've really been hard pressed not to say anything, but that's not my hearing.
No. You walk away from this crazy. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. This is completely unfair. This case has not reached resolution by now. However, Mr. Petty, you have, given the seriousness of this offense, this really scares me. Your documented gang membership really scares me. It makes me believe that if I were to release you, that you would be a danger to the community. Your dad represents otherwise because your dad has stood up for you, said that you would be on lockdown 24/7. You've kind of been up and down in detention in the back, okay? But you've been great for the last 6 days. Perfect 1-0. That deserves a reward. But I'm not going to give you the full reward today. Here's what we're going to do. You maintain level 1-0, not for the next 10 business days, for the next 10 calendar days. You maintain level 1-0 consistently. And I will allow Mr. Adeniji to approach me and ask that you be released. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So next 10 calendar days, you maintain level 1-0 consistently. And I'll let Mr. Boneberg and Mr. Adeniji duke it out. But I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Boneberg is not going to be happy with my probable decision. Not that I'm prejudging it, but it's likely that Mr. Adeniji is going to be very happy. Okay? But for now, given how serious this is, I want you to prove to the court that you can maintain level 1-0 solid, okay? Can you do it?
Yes, sir.
I think you can. All right, that'll be the order of the court. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I think that's all I have on your list. Can I be
Counsel, as always, thank you for your skilled and able advocacy. You have a great rest of your day.
I appreciate that. I'm going to take that to the bank.
I apologize, everybody, for taking so long. All right, Mr. Gladstone.
Yes, sir.
Something tells me you're going to make the exact same arguments.
I've got a different set of facts, Judge, totally. I spent a lot of time on this thing with this COVID break. I've spent a lot of time in this case, had a lot of conversations with Andy, and there's an offer on the table for probation, but we're working on it. But if you'll give me a chance, I'd like to set the stage. This was not a drive-by. What all happened was my client and another group of boys was out at a mall, had a confrontation or a discussion with a bunch of girls. And the girls got the better of it somehow. They embarrassed, they dissed the boys. So basically, there was an exchange between the boys and the girls. And my client, a number of boys that were in this meeting, drove back to the apartment complex. The girls sent out this large kid, a large white kid, who started bad-mouthing all the boys in the car. And one of the boys, by the name of Kinshay, pulled out a gun and fired at the victim. That is what happened here by my estimation of the facts. It wasn't a drive-by. It was a confrontation between this one kid that came out for the girls and and this one kid that pulled out a gun and fired. So it's a serious case of law of parties. I provided the DA a case on this. We've even done some legal research on it, whatever. So there's an argument, but right now there's an offer on the table that I'm working on. So it's a serious case of law of parties.
All right, Mr. Poe. Are you Mr. Poe?
Yes, sir.
All right, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded. If there is something you want to say, please do not blurt it out. Instead, wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention and Mr. Gladstone's attention. I will create a private internet chat room for you and Mr. Gladstone to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, you heard Mr. Gladstone arguing on your behalf. So you understand the charge against you. It's an aggravated assault, right?
Yes, sir.
With a deadly weapon. You understand that charge, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And Mr. Poe, you got to meet Judge Kim at one point, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did he talk to you about the levels in the back?
Yes, sir. He said, if you do right, he said stay at level 1.
He said stay at level 1 what?
A 1-0.
What are you?
I don't know. They ain't tell me this morning.
Okay. Well, then, Ms. Rojas.
Yes,
What is Mr. Poe's level in the back?
he's on level 1A today.
Okay. Mr. Poe, does level 1A mean equal to level 1.0?
No, sir.
Okay. What does Judge Kim expect?
1-0.
What are you?
1A.
What do you think I'm going to do?
Detain me.
All right. That'll be the order of the court.
Judge, could I ask how much he's been on 1.0? Because my understanding is he's been on 1.0 the majority of the time, or just weeks.
Let me pull it up, unless Ms. Rojas, you have that information at your fingertips.
Looking for it.
Trying to get there too. It's a race.
Mr. Poe had a real attitude when he came in, and it took him a while to get off of 2 and in the lower ones, but he's my understanding or impression was he's been on 1.0 for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He was on 1A at the last detention hearing, and then he went down to level 2, and then he's trying to get his level back up since the last detention hearing. So he's at 1A right now as of today.
Was he on 1.0 before?
He has gone up and down. I mean, he has different levels throughout the time that he's been here. He's been had several almost near confrontations with other peers.
All right, Ms. Rojas, I'm sorry to cut you off. Mr. Gladstone, the answer to your question is he was last level 1.0 on May 16th. And then before that, it was May 11th. And then before that, his previous 1.0 was April 28th. And he's vacillated all the way between 3C and 1.0.
Could we get a determination that if he stays on 1.0 that he could get out maybe in 5 or 10 days? I mean, the facts are less serious than the other kid because he doesn't have all his other referrals. He's just a situation where we need to set it for a hearing. And again, the DA has offered probation. So obviously the DA is not concerned about safety of the community.
Okay, well, the determination today is that I'm going to detain him. And so I will let you make that request of Judge Kim.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
I believe that's all I have, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gladstone. Have a great day.
Oh, and the other issue was there may have been a status conference this morning, but notices wasn't, I can't find a notice that went out on this thing. I just got word yesterday that something was cooking, so I don't know if it fell through the cracks or not.
All right, I'll convey that to both the court coordinator and to Judge Kim so that nobody thinks bad of you. That's not your
No,
fault.
but that's fine. I mean, I was available, but no one called. Thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gladstone. All right. Are you Mr. Rosas? Are you Mr. Rosas?
And nothing at all. Only.
All right, please pull your chair closer to the computer. And I need you to answer out loud for me, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name's Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should be released from detention or to a parent or guardian or ordered to remain in detention. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. You also have the right to have this hearing recorded. If you want either of those things, your attorney, Ms. Barrows, will let me know. Do you see Ms. Barrows on the screen?
Yes.
All right. If there's something you want to say, please do not just shout it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. That'll get my attention or Ms. Barrows' attention. I will create a private internet chat room for the two of y'all to talk about what you want to say. That way, Ms. Barrows can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Barrows is your attorney. All right, Ms. Blair, what brings Mr. Rosas to court today?
Your Honor, he's 15-year-old who was charged with assault caused bodily injury, family member by Fort Worth PD. On May the 26th, around 1942 hours, officers were dispatched to a domestic disturbance call. Esmeralda, who's the victim, advised that her son Nathan had been missing since Saturday. Mother got a tip where he was and went to the apartment. A friend's father told her that Nathan wasn't there, but she didn't believe him, so she called the police. While waiting, Nathan came up to her, pushing her and then hitting her on the arm after refusing to get in the car with her. Officers attempted to make contact with Nathan when the officers first arrived, but Nathan refused to comply with the commands. He was finally apprehended and transported to the juvenile detention center. The mother was informed of her options for DNP and mediation. Mother said she did not wish to pick from either options due to youth having tons of issues. He has no prior history, and that is it.
Okay, and is the mom Ms. Gonzalez?
She's on here somewhere.
Oh, there she is. Okay. Ms. Gonzalez, if you could, there we go. Talk to me. What's going on? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Let's see. Still no sound. Oh. Let's wait and see if she comes back. Wait, there. All right, while we're waiting on Mom, Ms. Barrows, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, if he has had no prior referrals, I would ask that he be released to his mom or another guardian, maybe another family member, so he can be out of detention.
Do we know if another, okay, here she comes. Hold on. All right, can you hear us okay? All right. Are you Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on? Do you want him to come home today?
No.
Is there a different parent or guardian who might want him to come home today?
Well, he's been placed with me because he had CPS with his dad, and so he came to live with me about 2 months ago. But his behavior and him running away and not coming home, blocking me and all of that, hanging out with the wrong crowd.
All right, Ms. Barrows, do you want to ask Ms. Gonzalez some questions? Oh, Ms. Barrows?
The CPS investigation.
We only got the last 2 words of your question, Ms. Barrows.
Okay, is there an active CPS investigation?
Case has been closed about a month ago, and I provided that information to the assigned officer.
Okay, is there any other family member in Tarrant County that your son could go live with?
You can ask him. I tried to bring him home yesterday and he didn't want to. Instead, he wanted to fight me and not get in the car and push me, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Rosas, do you need to talk to your attorney privately? Okay. I'm going to create a private internet chat room for the 2 of y'all to talk quickly. It needs to be quickly, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Rosas, go down to the bottom of your screen with your cursor. You should see a pop-up menu that shows you either breakout room or more. There he goes.
Okay. Your Honor, I've spoken with my client and he has an aunt, Veronica, that is a maternal aunt that he can go live with and go stay with temporarily till we get this resolved.
Okay, Ms. Gonzalez, how do you feel about Mr. Rosas going and living with the aunt?
I'm okay with that, I guess.
All right.
But I don't know her number, nothing. I don't know her number. My mom has everything.
We can figure that out.
Okay. Mr. Rosas?
Yes, sir.
It is not acceptable to hit your family members in any shape, form, or fashion. Okay? When that happens, you come to Kimbo. All right. Is Kimbo fun?
None.
Do they have games and stuff?
I mean, we only get to play basketball and we get to watch a movie. That's it.
That's pretty boring, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't really
Which
like
is more fun, being in Kimbo or being at home?
being at home.
Okay. Whether or not you get to remain at home with your aunt is entirely up to you. I'm going to order that you be released today, but it will be on an electronic monitor. You are not allowed to leave your house except for school or church or religious activities.
I'm not in school. I still haven't gotten enrolled. That's the thing.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. But you're not going to get to go out of your house anyway, except for if you were to go to summer school or you're headed to a religious activity, okay? And all of that has to be pre-cleared with your probation officer. You got that?
Yes, sir.
So let's say a friend calls you up and says, let's go to the movies tomorrow night. Do you get to go?
No,
Why not?
because I'm on my monitor.
You got it.
No,
Okay. What happens if you sneak out and go to the movie anyway?
It'll go off.
Exactly. And then what happens?
The police come.
And then where do the police bring you?
Kimbo.
Is Kimbo fun?
Yeah.
Is going to the movies worth coming back to Kimbo?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're in agreement.
Yes, sir.
You need to remain in constant contact with your attorney, okay?
Who's my attorney is Miss Burrow, sir.
Okay. You're to remain in constant contact with her. If something comes up, if she tells you you got to come to a court hearing, you have to come. No excuses.
Yes, sir.
If you run away again, you're just going to wind up back in Kimbo, and it makes things worse for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's going to be the order of the court. Thank you. Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't want to give JPD two things. Because if I do that, okay. Yay, finally. Right. Are you Mr. Wright?
Yes, sir.
All right, pull your chair close to the computer for me. Mr. Wright, my name is Judge Porter. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to an attorney. Mr. Berger is your attorney. Do you see Mr. Berger on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also have the right to remain silent. If there's something you want to say, please do not just shout it out. Instead, I want you to wave your hand like this. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Cruz, what brings Mr. Wright back to court? Hold on, Ms. Cruz. Hold on. Let's get you unmuted, Ms. Cruz. Ms. Cruz, there we go. All right.
I'm
What
sorry.
brings Mr. Wright back to court?
This is his 10-day detention hearing, Your Honor. He was referred in on May the 11th for a directive to apprehend as well as a failure to ID. According to the report, the officers received a disturbance call, and when they got to the store where he was, they were asking him his name, and he gave a different name, but the same date of birth. And that's where the failure to ID came from. And we already had a directive to apprehend on him.
Does he have a parent or guardian here today?
Yes,
Okay.
he's there.
Okay. Let's see. Are you Ms. Jackson?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
Oh, yes.
All right.
How you doing today, Judge Porter?
Oh, better than I deserve. Miss Jackson, tell me what's going on.
Jamal had, we had just started the FPP program that was offered. And before, when they was trying to start it, I had just buried my son.
Mm-hmm.
So it got pushed back a little because at the time they tried to start it, I was making arrangements and everything. So we had just got it started, say about a month ago. And it's not that Jamal, like I said, he hadn't seen his brother in 7 months because Jamal was like really in juvenile. So, when he came home, his brother got killed like 11 days after Jamal got out. And he just was grieving, but I had already spoke with Miss Cruz, and we just was getting the program started, as just really getting to know her and Miss Dana. I probably met them twice as we started the program. And he had got up and he had left. And I called Miss Dana and Miss Cruz, and I had let them know, and they had asked me did I have a phone number. Gave them a phone number, which they did speak with to Jamal, and told him that they ordered him to come back home the next day or she would issue the DTA, and he didn't come home. So I had already did a runaway report like Miss Cruz had told me to. And the DTA, which he would call and talk to his father, and his father just telling him, you have to come home if you want the help for grieving. I understand we just started the program. You can't just, where I'm coming from as Jamal grieving, but I can't give him the help he needs because we all grieving this way. So he ran away, and I spoke with Miss Cruz, and then she issued the DTA.
Do you want Jamal to come home today?
Yes, but only on the electric device. I have already spoke with Miss Cruz and Miss Thomas, the one his MHMR therapist. So she willing to accept to come out to my house so we can do more of the one-on-one with Jamal. It's the only way he would come home. Other than that, he had to come home on a monitor. He had a monitor before, and he did good on it.
Mr. Boneberg, what are your thoughts?
Your Honor, we'll defer to the court on this.
All right.
Yep.
Jamal, let's see. You talked with Judge Terry 2 weeks ago, and what did she tell you?
Get to level 1.0 and maintain it.
And what'd you do?
I got to level 1.0 and maintained it.
You did. So guess what I'm going to do? What do you think I ought to do?
Release me.
You're correct. You kept up your end of the bargain. You proved to the court that you know how to behave. I want you to go home, be with your mom. I'm going to release you on the electronic monitor. It's important that you get a chance to grieve with your family, but that's something that y'all just need to sit around the kitchen table and talk about how much you love your brother, okay?
Yes.
All right, will that work?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want you to keep in constant contact with Mr. Berger. Okay.
Who's Mr. Berger?
Okay. Do you see he's got the blue shirt? He's your attorney?
He ain't on my screen.
Yeah, he is. Keep looking. He's got that bright blue shirt.
The one with the glasses?
You got it.
Yes,
Jamal last week, you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want you to keep in constant contact with him, but you have to stay home, okay?
Yes, sir.
You can't leave. You're on electronic monitor. If you cut that monitor off, you know what happens, right?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Get DPA.
And then where do you end up?
Back here.
You want to be back there?
No, sir.
So what do you got to do to make sure you're not back there?
Pay off and do and handle business and do what I need to do.
You're right. All right. That's going to be the order of court. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Judge.
All right. Pursuant to section 54.08 of the Texas Family Code, the court will be closing the remainder of these hearings to the public because the involved kids are under 14. I will ask everyone who is not directly connected with any of the remaining